All right, today we're going to take a look at multiplying special polynomials. Okay, so let's take it our first example here. We have a quantity of 2x plus 3 times a quantity of 2x minus 3. And what makes these so special is that both the first terms are 2x and both of the last terms in our binomials are 3. And they have different operations. One is plus and one is minus. So this is what makes them kind of unique and special. Okay. So we're going to go about doing the FOIL method the same as always. So we're going to take our first terms and multiply them. So 2x times 2x, which gives us 4x squared. Okay, so 2 times 2 is our 4. And remember, when we're multiplying like bases of x times x, we keep the base and add the exponents, which are both 1 plus 1 gives us the power of 2. Okay. All right, next we're going to do the second part of our FOIL method, which is the outers. So 2x times the negative 3. So that's going to give us negative 6x. And then we're going to do our inners. So we got a positive 3 times 2x, which is positive 6x. And then we're going to do our last terms in each binomial, which is 3 times a negative 3, which is negative 9. All right. Now what we're going to do is go through and see there's no more x squares that we can combine. So we keep the 4x squared. Then what we notice is our middle term here is negative 6x plus 6x. Well, a negative 6x plus 6x is 0x. So we don't write it because 0 times anything is just 0. So we skip that and just don't write it, okay, because it's canceled out. And then we continue with minus 9, and that's our minus 9. So what's interesting about this is that we've lost the middle term. Okay, it's gone. So no middle term. So that's also what makes this unique and special, is that when you multiply these two quantities that have the same first terms and the same last terms, okay, 2x's and the 3's, with different operations, your middle term cancels out. So you wind up with 4x squared minus 9. Now, for the future, we're not there yet, but we're going to be undoing this back to the 2x plus 3 and the 2x minus 3, which is called factoring. This answer here, the way it looks, is called a difference of squares. So I'm just going to introduce that terminology now so you get used to what it's called. And when we factor, that's going to be very important. But for now, going through your multiplication, as always, FOIL method, write out your intermediate line, clean up anything you have to clean up and combine, and you wind up with 4x squared minus 9, and that is your final answer. Right, next, another special case of multiplying polynomials is we've got the quantity of 2x plus 3 squared. So I think first what we need to go back to is meaning, understanding meaning. X squared means x times x. Its answer is x squared. 2 squared means 2 times 2. But the answer to 2 squared, or 2 times 2, is 4. So the answer is completely different from the meaning. So let's take a look at this 2x plus 3 squared, so this quantity. If squaring a term means to multiply it by itself, then that means 2x plus 3 is being raised to the second power, and that's why it's on the outside of the parentheses. This means 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3. And once you know the meaning, you can do anything with squaring. Okay? So now, because of the fact that we've got two quantities multiplied together, we're going to do the FOIL method. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared. 2x times 3 is going to give us plus 6x. 3 times 2x is going to give us plus 6x. And then lastly, we have 3 times 3, which is positive 9. So here we can see our answer is going to be x squared, 4x squared, because we can't combine with anything for the x squared. Our middle term is going to be the combination of positive 6x plus 6x, which is positive 12x. And then we keep our plus 9. So this is our final answer for the quantity of 2x plus 3 squared. So you convert it into what it means, quantity times the quantity, and you multiply it out by foiling, and you get 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. And just as a comparison, you can see how different your answers look for the quantity of 2x plus 3 times the quantity of 2x minus 3 versus the quantity of 2x plus 3 squared, which means quantity of 2x plus 3 times quantity of 2x plus 3. Okay. All right, next and last problem that we're going to work on looks like the one we just did, but it's not. So we want to know the meaning of the quantity of 2x minus 3 squared. So it means that quantity times itself. So if you don't want to say all of this 2x minus 3, you can just say quantity. So the quantity squared means quantity times quantity. We know what the quantity is, so we write it. 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3. So when we multiply this, we're going to get 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. 2x times a negative 3 is going to be minus 6x. Negative 3 times 2x is going to be negative 6x, so minus 6x for us. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9, so plus 9. And now our final answer is going to be 4x squared. Combine your middle term. Negative 6x minus 6 more x's is minus 12x. And then keep your plus 9. And that's our answer. And let's compare it to our last problem, where we had the quantity of 2x plus 3 times the quantity of 2x plus 3. You can clearly see that you wound up with 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. But when the quantity is 2x minus 3 times the quantity of 2x minus 3, we wind up 4x squared again as the first term, but it's a minus 12x, then it's plus 9. So you can see how your middle terms differ based on the operation that is in between your first and second term in your binomial. And that is how we multiply special polynomials.